Today we're going to take a look at some of the Swiss stone pines that I've got growing around the gardens in the landscape. And so we're going to start out looking at the straight species, the Pinus cembra. Then after that we're going to look at several varieties that are going to give us a little bit more compact form, some different needle colors. Prairie Statesman is one of those varieties. The Westerstede, this is another one that's a nice compact shape, doing excellent for us. And then we've got the Silver Whispers Swiss stone pine as well. Okay, this Swiss stone pine, planted here in kind of an area I've got going that I'm trying to establish a lot of the different native wildflowers. So it's kind of a unruly area. I'm not keeping it real neat, real groomed. But the idea I had is this is just a little bit shorter pine, not going to get as big as these Colorado spruce that you see in the backdrop. So it's just going to be kind of that crescendo from our main viewing area. And that's one of the greatest things about the Swiss stone pines is that more compact nature. The Pinus cembra going to get about that 30 to 40 foot eventual height. One of the qualities of the Swiss stone pine, they've kind of got a silvery green or a bluish green needle, kind of a soft needle. So look at that though. Isn't this just a nice, perfect little small evergreen? There's also a variety here I came across at an arboretum that's the Nana variety, which is just a little bit tighter form. This supposedly is just going to get a little bit looser with age, but still maintain that nice compact type look for an evergreen. From the reading I've done, it sounds like a lot of the cones don't come on these different cembra or Swiss stone pines for at least another 10 to 15 years in their growth cycle, sometimes even longer. So that was just an interesting thing. A lot of conifers are going to give us their cones earlier in their life stage. But these Swiss stone pines, yeah, they're great for the Prairie State because they're going to tolerate that neutral to a little bit higher pH. They've got some drought tolerance. Our next one we're going to look at is the Prairie Statesman. Now this one has special interest for me. This was introduced from the college that I got my horticulture training from, North Dakota State University, and it was actually introduced by my advisor, Dale Herman, who has an arboretum, a research arboretum named after him. The Prairie Statesman, if you look at this one, it's gone through a pretty severe drought about 3 years ago, had a fair amount of needle cast on those inner branches, and I think that's just a self-preservation thing for a lot of the different conifers. They're going to drop needles heavier some years to create that mulch effect on their root system. But this one's doing very well. All the terminal growth looks very good, so I'm not too worried about it health-wise, and I think as it ages, as it grows, it will thicken up a little bit. This one was planted, I would say about 5, maybe 7 years ago now, from like a 4 to 5 foot nice specimen type, a little bit thicker when I put it in. Here's a couple photos of another project I worked on a few years ago showing you a smaller Prairie Statesman and just how nice it looks and fits into a smaller landscape situation. But for now, you know, just a little bit thinner look, but I still like the qualities of it, no doubt about it. And here we've got Silver Whispers Swiss stone pine, and we're experiencing, you know, quite a bit of tip burn on this. I'm not sure why. Also got some of that needle cast pretty heavy on this Swiss stone pine as well. It's hanging in there, looks healthy overall, hardy for sure. It's just going to be a matter of maturity, you know, getting that bigger size. As per name, this variety is noted to have that prominent white striped needle, giving it that silvery look. Unfortunately, I'm not noticing that characteristic right now. This is in a location, I think it's going to do pretty well long term. If you take a look here, we did have a main branch, came down in a windstorm. I guess maybe that was a blessing because we opened up quite a bit of space here, quite a bit of light in this area. And before we take a look at Westerstede, here's a quick look at one more variety, Algonquin pillar. This variety's got a strong leader, can reach 30 feet by 12 feet at maturity. So one of the larger varieties we've looked at today, but still with that nice tight shape. And now we're next to Westerstede Swiss stone pine. This one's doing equally as well. We also, during that drought, did have a little bit of heavy needle shed on this one, not quite as much. So this still looks a little bit more thick, a little bit more full. And if you take a look at this photo here, isn't that just incredible? The difference of how plants look from winter to summer. I just love looking back at photos and seeing how this is as we come in close here. Again, that nice characteristic silverish lower needle, a nice soft needle on this, kind of like the white pine. And I can't grow the white pine. The soil in our area is just not acidic enough. So I'm happy to have the Swiss stone pines is something that I think looks kind of close to to the white pine without the massive size. They do need full sun. I'm going to say at least, 6 hours of direct sun a day would be best, but this one's probably getting the most shade out of all of them. It's covered by this Canada red cherry during the hottest part of the day, so it's really only picking up about 2 hours, I would say mid-morning and then late in the day from the west, but doing very well. And I'm going to say a partial shade locations. The Swiss stone pines, I would say, definitely can do well in a part shade type area. So if you've got some overstory plants, you want to get one of these more compact evergreens in those areas, yeah, definitely give Swiss stone pines a try. So there you go, Westerstede, Swiss stone pine. And here's a quick summary of the varieties we've talked about today, showing you the height and spread as well as some of the key characteristics of each one. You can also stop by my website, gardenhike.com, for an expanded discussion on these Swiss stone pines, as well as many other plant topics we've covered here on Garden Hike. That's all I've got for now on this video with the Swiss stone pines. I hope you can see some of these light snowflakes that have been falling. Not much wind here today makes winter quite enjoyable. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next video.